What's poppin', YouTube? ExtraThicc Games finally back again with another deck profile. Today I will be showcasing for you the absolute best combo deck that this year has seen so far. What kind of madness could I possibly be talking about showing you today? Well, dear viewers, today we'll be looking at Darklords. That is right, viewers. Darklords. Let's get right into the profile. Alright, viewers, so for our 44 card main deck, we will be starting with 3 Darklord Thicc Shell. Jesus Christ, get into frame. Darklord Thicc Shell, Darklord Thicc Bitch. She is one of many of our draw engines in this deck, and also our only Darklord target who can use the pay 1,000, use a Darklord spell in the graveyard. So definitely got to max out on her. Next we'll be running Superbia for one of our revival engines, right? And a definite good trade-in target, and generally a good one for Ixchil's discard draw 2 effect. We want to put Superbia in the graveyard as soon as possible. Her graveyard revival effect is not once per turn, keep that in mind. Then we will run 2 Darklord Zeratos. Not worth maxing out with 3 on with this guy. He is a level 8, so he's good for trade-in. He is a Darklord name, so he's good for Ixchil's discard draw 2. And he's a target for Superbia's revival effects. Generally, if you go second, he'll discard maybe another Superbia to activate his Raigeki effect. And then, boom, you've got a level 8 on board to maybe go into your Xyz or Link plays from there. Worth running, not worth maxing out on. What is worth maxing out on, however, is our 3 Arklord Christias. This is part of the ending board, and you gotta run 3 because she's not exactly the most searchable of monsters. So you really gotta hope you hard draw into her. But with all the draw power, that's generally just generally not an issue. So that'll do it for our Darklord Arklord cards. Next, for our very small Thunder Dragon engine, actually. That is right, viewers. We are playing Darklord Thunder Dragons in 2019, but we'll only for the main deck monsters be playing 3 of the original and 3 Hawk, actually. So generally you want to, as soon as you see this one, you discard it, get these 2 in hand. Makes it harder for your opponent to snipe the danger cards you'll be running, and it'll make Colossus live, and then once you see this, when you draw into them, because you will be drawing into them, trust me, you'll discard it, revive it, and then just go into your Colossus from there. And then for our danger engine, we are running 2 Bigfoot, 2 Thunderbird, level 8s for the Zombie Stein and Hope Harbinger plays, and pretty good for going second. And then we will be running, of course, the 3 bunnies, Danger Jackalopes. The one that is actually okay if they snipe it, because you'll get one of your big boys out on turn 1. And this is you don't want Bigfoot or Thunderbird to get sniped on turn 1. You don't care if Jackalope gets sniped ever. Great card, gotta max out on it, hope it doesn't get limited. Moving right along to our small little Chaos package. We got just 1 Levianeer, 1 Chaos Emperor Dragon. Just easy to summon, 1 light, 1 dark, and then so versatile here with Levianeer. As long as you keep like 1 Thunder Dragon and maybe 1 Superbia in graveyard, you're not robbing yourself of too many resources, and then, you know, you could either bring back a monster if you use all your lights, or, you know, shuffle something from your opponent's hand back into deck if you use all the darks, and then if you're going second, you mix them up, you just pop 2 things. Great card. Searchable, we'll get to that. Good cards for the deck. And then for our 1 normal summon, we are maxing out on 3 Phantom Sky Blaster. While we can, Lord knows this is one of the cards on the chopping block for the ban list, but you get 2 monsters on field, you summon this. You've got an instant Saryuja with another monster on board to continue to extend your plays from there. Wonderful card, gotta max out on this one while you can. Just get off the screen. That's all for our monsters, though, so let's get right into our spells. We are running 3 Banishment of the Darklords. That's your Darklord Searcher card. Generally going to get you your Ixchel or your Superbia. And then if you get Ixchel on board, you can duplicate its effect in graveyard by shuffling it back into deck and setting you up for next turn. Then on that topic, we got double Darklord Contact. That's your Revival card. You only want to run 2. I find that the Revival card bricks you a whole lot more than your Searcher. If you see too many contacts in your opening hand and you don't have enough ways to get your Darklords in graveyard, it's a dead card. And unfortunately, both of these, the physical cards, are once per turn. You can, of course, use the effects more than once if you use Ixchel's on-field effect, but this one's not going to brick you like this one will. Alright, so that's it for our Darklord cards. And we have our double Melody of Awakening Dragon. Good way to dump a, dump maybe a Jackalope into the graveyard and get a free level 8 monster, or danger monster rather, from your deck. Or maybe it's just a good way to dump your Superbia into graveyard, and then it'll get you both your Chaos Dragons, so that is amazing. And we play Triple Trade-In. A lot of level 8s in this deck, a lot of draw power. Then our one-ofs, we got 1 World Legacy Succession and 1 Monster Reborn. It is a 44 card deck. It used to be 45. We were playing a double World Legacy Succession, but that is also a once per turn. You don't want too many things that could break you, even in a 45 card deck. And then lastly, because this deck does just hard lose to Droll, we gotta play 3 Called by the Graves. Generally, if they don't draw you immediately, and maybe you've got multiples of this in your hand, we do play enough cards that discard things, so you can always use that as like an easy pitch to get out if they don't have hand traps that can stop you. But that just about does it for the main deck, so let's go right into our extra deck now. Alright, so for our extra deck, we are running 2 Saryuja Skuldred. Yeah, you don't need to necessarily run 3 of it. Sometimes even 1 does the trick, but the draw 4, put 3 back, basically pick your hand effect, that kind of draw power is just incredible for combo decks like this. And then let's not forget the 3 material effect. It lets you special summon a monster out. That's generally how you're getting Christia on board for your finishing play, and just having the nastiest board you've ever seen in your life. So that's, it goes without saying. 2 Saryuja Skuldred is wonderful. Then we got our Boral boys. We got Borreload, Steal a Problematic Monster, Boral Sword, Push for OTK. Nice, quick and to the point. And then if we're just having a hard time getting enough resources out on the field, we got our Reproducus and Summon Sorcerer's package. Push for enough materials to get Saryuja at 4. Wonderful, wonderful combo package. And then the 1 Nightmare Phoenix, deal with some back row. Lan gets different names on board, especially if you're using like a Phantom Skyblaster's token effect, and sometimes you just need the 2 open spaces if you're struggling for throwing a bunch of monsters on field and you need to make a couple smaller ones. You don't always go into it, you hardly go into it, but it's nice to be ready just in case. And then for our last Link monster, another one for Phantom Skyblasters. Token effect is Link Spider, because Saryuja does take 2+ monsters with different names, so you can't exactly just use 2 tokens. You gotta use like 1 token, the Link Spider, Phantom Skyblaster, and then like another monster. Then our 1 fusion monsters, of course, our Thunder Dragon Colossus. Walking Mistake, no searching. And our Xyz packet, our Xyz monsters. Got our 1 Zombie Stein. That is our negate that will go into if we somehow end up with an extra card in our hand. It's a toss-up if that happens. And then Hope Harbinger if we don't have an extra card in our hand. And then this one, number 68, Xenophon, the Sky Prison. Think like a rank A Abyss Dweller. Maybe not as extensive as Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller means like no effects in graveyard. That one protects itself and means no special summoning from graveyard. That comes in handy a lot. But also it is a rank A Dark Monster, which helps us with our Spider package. 84 Pain Gainer and 77 the 7 Sins. 7 cents protects itself and then just banishes your opponent's whole board. Good for a turn 2 play. You're not going to want to, go into this instead of our nasty finishing turn 1 board, but there are occasions where that is necessary. But that does wrap it up for our extra deck. Let's get into the side deck. And for the side deck, we got double Thanos Dragon. Probably going to be triple when I can afford a third one. And then, yeah, he's incredible for being basically a Saryuja hand trap with a negate on your opponent's turn. Like, it goes without saying, this card is definitely worth the price tag that it has. We got triple Ash Blossom, stop a searcher card. Ash Blossom's still the most versatile hand trap in my humble opinion. Then we got 3 Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Good for just getting one problematic card off the board. Get you a body on board. It's versatile. It's good for going second. And then our Kaiju package, actually. We'll be running 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, 1 Dogoran, and 1 Gamseel. Your opponent sets up a stupid board that's just tough to get over. You dark hole it, basically, and you're going to start with a level 8 to go into your Xyz plays, and they're stuck with a little turtle. And then lastly, we are running the Eradicator Epidemic Virus at 2. This one helps you deal with things like Altergeist and Sky Striker, because we put up dark monsters with big bodies, just about every monster. So that wraps it up for the card list, the deck profile, for this just ridiculous combo deck. Now, I'm sure not all of you are convinced of this deck's power, so let's just go ahead and get right into what this deck can do. I'm going to show you guys a turn 1 board. Alright, Thicc boys, now you see I'm just doing a little bit of shuffling right now on camera, so y'all can see I ain't fooling or anything like that. Alright, shuffle, 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 and cut, and I think that is good enough. So let's go ahead and get right into this turn 1 board. That's a good start. Ooh, that's a real good start. That's okay. I think this is going to be a good turn. But you see, that's the good thing about this deck, though, is that you don't really have to see any particular opening hand or, like, any number of combo pieces to get what you need. You generally just take what you get and run with it. And I'm going to demonstrate that. So we're going to start by discarding Thunder Dragon here to search out, ooh, there's one, the other 2 boys, and make our Thunder Dragon Colossus live. There we got them. I'm not going to bother shuffling right now because we're going right back in with the banishment of the Darklords. Lets me search a Darklord card, mind you. We are searching a Darklord monster right now, but sometimes it comes up like that you need the Darklord card. You may need to search out that contact or something. Now we're going to shuffle because I'm about to draw some. So I'm going to activate Darklord Ass and Titties effect to discard herself and another Darklord card. So we got our Superbia engraved to draw 2 dead cards. Wow. But you see, this is fine. This is fine. This doesn't kill us because we can do this. We're going to play Darklord Contact to summon out a Darklord monster in defense mode. We pick Superbia, obviously. And now she's going to summon a fairy in defense mode. So we pick Darklord Thickshell. And she's got the Darklord effect where she can activate any of the 2 spell cards in graveyard by paying 1,000 and shuffling it back into the deck. So that's real good of her. But now that we've got a good amount of monsters, what I'm going to go ahead and do is summon Phantom Skyblaster and fill up the rest of my board with tokens. There's one, can y'all see this? Zoom out a little bit. There we go. There, getting there. Getting there. Getting there. Alright, screw it. We're just going with it. Alright, so we're going to link 1 with one of the tokens to go into Link Spider. And the reason we did that is because we're about to go into our first Saryuja, and Saryuja's got to be made with monsters with different names. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a Darklord Thicc bitch to stay on the field so that we can replicate those spell effects when we need to. Going to Saryuja the first. And now, I'm going to be able to draw 4, put 3 back. We have 4 cards in hand, so we should be ending on 5. We get Christia, Trade In, Called, and Bird. Not the best, not the worst. Alright. What am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about this? We already played Banishments. We can't play that one from hand. I'm thinking I'm going to put Called by the Grave back because we haven't gotten drolled yet. I mean, clearly this is just a demonstration, but that's helping us least right now. So, let's go ahead and... I don't want to lose that Christia just yet. So, for the sake of it, we're just going to trade in the Bird. Draw. Oh, good. That didn't hurt us at all. So what we're going to be able to do now is use Darklord Thicc effect to activate Contact from Graveyard by paying 1,000 points and shuffling this back into the deck to summon from Graveyard. Her effect will not go off right now because when that effect is activated using another Darklord card, another monster effect rather, it misses timing. This game's weird. Alright, to make sure we got monsters on board when I do this, let's go ahead and use Danger Bunny's effect. I'm going to shuffle them up. I'm going to shuffle them up nice and good. I'm going to pick this one. Okay, we hit the Bird. We really just don't like this Bird today, do we? We're going to summon the Bunny now. And we're going to draw. Awesome. Just for the sake of keeping a level 8 on board, what we're going to do now is use Saryuja's effect with 3 to special summon a monster out. Now, let's link 4 to go into Saryuja the second with 4. So now, we got 3 in hand, we'll end on 4. So we get Monster Reborn, awesome. Bunny, cool. Bigfoot, alright. Levianeer, maybe. Alright. I think we got it. I definitely think we got it. So we need to end on 4. And I'm thinking this is the play to make. This might be the play to make. Nah, that won't matter. Let's just throw another Bunny in for discard fodder. Who cares? Okay. So let's start by discarding Hawk to summon out our Thunder Dragon. What it does when it's discarded is summons a, Thunder Dragon monster? Thunder Dragon monsters that's banished or in the graveyard except for itself. That's good. Now let's go ahead and use the Monster Reborn. Find me a level 8. One of these birds that we discarded a bunch. And now we're all set. What we're going to do now is overlay 2 darks in zones that Saryuja here points to go into number 22, Zombie Stein. Now we're going to tribute the Thunder Dragon to go into Colossus. And lastly, we're going to use Saryuja with 3's effect to summon out Darklord Christia. And there we go, opponent. Break my board. We now have a 4800 beat stick negate, because we got cards in hand to feel said negate. We have a monster that doesn't let them special summon, and it recycles itself. If it gets destroyed or just leaves the field, I think, it goes back to the top of the deck. And we've got a walking one-sided mistake powered up by Saryuja that can save itself by banishing Thunder Dragons. There we go! Darklords in 2019, my friends. Ah, man. Really wishing I would have taken this deck to YCS. But it is what it is. Didn't come up with it until much later. I wanted to get this profile out for you guys while I could, because I do think, while Konami did say that there's not going to be huge changes done to the ban list, I still think things like Saryuja to 1 might happen, which might put this deck in trouble. And then, like, Phantom Skyblaster, if that gets banned, really in trouble. But if it goes to 1, that's still functional. We'll just cut it down to 40 cards. Call it a day. But this deck does, it's got some pretty good matchups in the current format. Get this on board, get this on board. Salamangreat's what you gonna do about it. It's got a decent Sky Striker matchup. Just really depends on who does what first. That matchup is basically a die roll matchup. If I can get this on board and maybe a negate to prevent their, afterburners or Widow Anchors, then we're fine. I did get to play it against 2 of the new decks, Evil Eye and Witchcrafters, and this deck performed swimmingly against both of those. It does, however, have a pretty bad Trickstar matchup. Trickstars are going to burn you when you draw cards. This deck draws a whole lot of cards. Trickstars have Drolls out the ass, and that is the one card that basically hard counters this. And then, of course, Raw Sphere Mode, but what deck doesn't Raw Sphere Mode beat? But overall, this I'm very proud of this. Thunder Dragons, Dangers, Chaos, Darklords. In 2019, someone try and tell me I'm not original. But, there we have it, Thicc boys. More deck profiles to come. I might make a ban list video. It'll probably be a joking one, because, let's be real, it's me. And just remember to stay thick, y'all. Alright, see you next time.
Extra thick!